Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are announcing the theme for my themed Letterboxd 4 series for the month of February, which is Black History Month. If you're new to this series, there's a couple videos on my channel that I'll put in a playlist where I'm talking about this new series that I'm doing, where it's just every single month we're going over a different theme or a different category, and then we're breaking down or just talking about what would be in my Letterboxd 4 of that specific category. So if you missed the month of January, I did Best Picture winners, and so moving on to February, we are moving on to the next theme, which I'm doing Black History Month in honor of it being Black History Month, and I really just kind of wanted to use this as an opportunity to just again celebrate, black cinema and black filmmakers. And so how this series works, if you didn't see any of those videos in January, at the beginning of the month, so this video, I post the preview video. And in this video, we're going to go over what's currently in my Letterboxd 4, and then three videos, or three films that I have seen that maybe it's been a little bit, and maybe if I rewatch them, maybe they have a shot of cracking into that Letterboxd 4. And then just three videos that are films that I haven't seen at all. And in the month of February, I'm going to watch all 10 of those plus as many others as I can get to in the month. And then at the end of the month, we're going to come back and we're going to do kind of the recap or the results video where we just go over it. And so the first thing that we want to do when we're setting this up is establish the rules, establish the boundaries for what fits in this category. So the eligibility that I decided on, a film is eligible if they have a black director and a black lead. So films like 25th Hour, Southpaw, and Shame that have black directors but white leads won't be eligible. And films like Seven, Challengers, and Waves that have black leads but not a black director are excluded as well. And while some may find their way into this video, this isn't exclusively films about African American history, it is a celebration of black filmmakers and black cinema. This is also the first video where I'm going to talk about some exclusions in the list. If you don't remember, I said in the beginning, I think it was in the setup for January, I mentioned that every film is only eligible once because I want to, at the end of the year, I want to have 4 different films, like a quick math, 48, right? 48 different movies when I get to the end of the year. I want to have a different 4 for every single month. So, when we're talking about the exclusions, that means that Moonlight, because it was in my Best Picture video from last month, it is excluded. It obviously 100% would have a spot in this list, but again, like I said, because I'm trying to award so many different films and get so many films the mentions in these videos, for that reason, Moonlight is excluded and won't be in this video. And the other set of exclusions I'm putting on myself here is because this is a celebration of the filmmakers, I want 4 different filmmakers in the Letterboxd 4. I'm implementing this rule so I don't wind up with Get Out, Us, and Nope all in the final Letterboxd 4. And so with that said, let's take a look at what my current Letterboxd 4 is. We have 12 Years a Slave, directed by Steve McQueen, Black Klansman, directed by Spike Lee, Get Out, directed by Jordan Peele, and Judas and the Black Messiah, directed by Shaka King. Now, if you're familiar with my channel at all, if you've kind of followed or watched any of my videos, or if you know me in real life, you knew Get Out obviously was going to be here. This was going to be cemented in here. I think you probably could have figured 12 Years a Slave could be in here as well because I watched it a couple months ago for the first time, right before I saw Blitz, Steve McQueen's newest film, and then I talked about it in the last video, the Best Picture winners video, so it didn't quite crack that Letterboxd 4, but it currently has a spot here in this Letterboxd 4, so I think those two were, you maybe could have predicted those. Black Klansman and Judas and the Black Messiah are probably 2 films you've never heard me talk about. I've only seen Black Klansman, I think, the one time, and I remember being blown away by it, so I'm excited to give that another watch. And then Judas and the Black Messiah is phenomenal. It was one I might have been. I'd have to remember that year. I can't remember I think that was the Sound of Metal year, right? And I think it was like Sound of Metal, Judas and the Black Messiah, and The Father, I think, were like my top 3 Best Picture nominees from that year. I loved all 3 of those so much. So Judas and the Black Messiah, it's another one. It's been a couple years. I'm super excited to give that one another rewatch. And then moving on to the 3 contenders. Again, these are the films that I have seen, but it's been a while, so maybe we'll see if they have the shot of cracking in that Letterboxd 4. The 3 contenders are Do the Right Thing, directed by Spike Lee, His House, directed by Remy Weeks, and Loose, directed by Julius Onah. So Do the Right Thing, I think obviously you've heard of that, right? It's a very popular film. It's going to be interesting because if that takes a spot in the Letterboxd 4, It's taking Black Klansman's spot because I talked about how I only want one director, one film from each director in that Letterboxd 4, so that would be the spot that it's in direct competition with. His House and Loose, I'm sure you've maybe heard of those. There's a chance that maybe you haven't heard of either of those. Those definitely aren't. I don't think the most popular picks that I could have pulled out here, but those are two films that I've seen each of those one time, and I remember loving them both of them each time I saw them. So those are films that it's been years since I've not only have I seen them, but it's been years since I've really thought about a couple of, like, especially like His House. I don't think I've thought about that since like when I saw it. So I'm excited to give those two another watch. And then moving on to three films that I haven't seen: 13th, directed by Ava DuVernay; Boys in the Hood, directed by John Singleton; and Love and Basketball, directed by Gina Prince Bythewood. And for these three, I think 13th was the easy kind of one to put in here. I had to get a film from Ava DuVernay in here, and 13th, I think it's one of the highest like rated on Letterboxd. I think Ava DuVernay might have. I think like when they see us, and I think she has a couple others that are really high up. But I've either already seen them or they're like television TV series. So I think 13th it's one of the highest rated on Letterboxd, and it's one I haven't seen, so that was a no-brainer. And then Boys in the Hood and Love and Basketball, I think, are two just kind of iconic films when you think about like just celebrating black history and black cinema, black films. These are, I think, two of the most iconic like things that'll you hear those two. You'll hear Friday a lot kind of mentioned, which I can guarantee you I'm gonna watch Friday. I think I've seen Friday like once. uh Maybe it was like next Friday. I think I've seen one of the films in the Friday franchise, but it was so long ago that I just don't remember it all. So there's a couple films like that I'm gonna see, but there's a lot of those that are just kind of like the classic black films that I haven't seen. I'm excited to use this as an opportunity to see those. And of course, like I said in the last setup video for January, these are the 10 films that I'm going to guarantee that I watch this month. I'm also going to try and watch as many other films as I can, so make sure to leave your comments down below of any suggestions you have of what I should watch or what some of your favorite films are in this criteria. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video, the setup for the Black History Month themed Letterboxd 4 for the month of February. Just giving you a heads up as well, February is the shortest month, and I'm watching all of the Oscar nominations, as well. So there is a chance that I don't get to a whole ton of films outside of those 10, but I'm going to try and get to as many as I can for this video. So yeah, just let me know again in the comments down below any that you recommend. And then also, as far as the results video goes, again, because I talked about February kind of being the shortest month, and then the Oscars being like right at the beginning of the month of March, I'm still going to be kind of into my Oscars related content at the beginning of March, so there's a good chance that the results video is probably going to be like a week into March before I actually post that. So maybe I do kind of have that little bit of an extended time as well to try and squeeze in a couple more films. And again, thank you so much for watching the video. If you'd like to like the video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it, and have a great day.